and she tells him, "Are you going to vote for this beautiful facility out there where there's nothing but drunk Indians and gangbangers?"
What do you mean by that?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
You serious?
A la verga, bro.
Wow.
That's when we start. No, as you said, start now. Shit turned off.
You want me to just put some juju over my shoulder?
Come on,
throw
dog.
some salt
juju
back there.
Technology, bro. Cameras. There it is. See, there it is.
See?
Landwords with the juju.
I'm telling y'all,
That's
y'all want
crazy.
to know my roots go deep, man.
That's crazy. You know what's funny? Talking about cameras and being on set. Last time you were here, my brother, I had forgot to tell you that I was an extra on a couple episodes. You know, you guys were at the laundromat,
Yeah.
right? And I remember it was the one when you pulled up and you were going through it with the dog.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I was on set, and just the scene when you pull up and you get out and you say, or you're like, "We got the warrant," or some shit like that. I don't remember exactly.
I asked him if we could just take a look around.
Brother, you guys shot that like fucking 75 times, bro, and you had like 2 sentences.
It's the 4 angles.
Yep.
So 4 angles, 3 takes.
3 takes.
Yeah.
And that was a lot. And I was just laundry worker maestras.
And then all the other, the background shots. That's not even counting the background shots and all the setup shots and establishing shots. Yeah. Everybody thinks it's easy, bro, and you do it de volada, and you just run with a camera. And it takes so many people. It takes so many artists. It just
most of it seems like it's waiting around a lot.
A lot of waiting. But when they say action, you have to be on, bro, because it's forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you do it and go, "Oh, well, I'll do it better tomorrow."
Yeah.
No.
That's over.
Fix it in post.
Yeah, you gotta do it now. Yeah. You can't fix bad acting in post, though, bro.
And you don't want to be the weak link in the show full of a
you
bunch
can.
of good
Let me
actors.
rephrase that. You can. You just cut that fucking scene.
Cut it.
Yeah.
Everybody be like, "I wonder what fucking happened to Gomie." He just for some reason, the third season, he had like 2 lines and that was it.
He came back with lighter skin. Just
Lighter
a whole
skin.
different actor.
They replaced.
No, because I was inside. I lost my tan.
He's been behind the desk.
Yeah, he's inside, bro. I lost his color, man.
Hey, that shit's funny, brother. Hey, well, before we get too far, let's intro this because I like to keep talking and we forget to do that shit.
Let's go.
You are now tuned in to Respect the Connect. I'm your host, Johnny James, and I'm back again with a few of my nearest and dearest. Jay, remember the motherfucking number of the podcast. Trav is in the building.
Someone has to,
popping?
Yeah, someone has to. Nothing, bro. Well, this episode is popping, bro. Yeah, thank you for pulling up.
Of course.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Landwords is in the building. What's
Indeed.
popping, Landwords?
It's popping like over
Red Bakken.
That's right.
And as you guys can see, we are joined by the homie, Gomie. Steven Michael Quezada himself is back for round 2. Make some motherfucking noise. Episode 112 with the players dwell. Let's get it.
Yes.
What is up? What's going on, man?
Man,
How's
look at
everything?
everything, brother.
Huh?
We've been busy as shit.
I feel you, man.
I seen you been busy as shit
busy,
too.
man.
You out there on the road. I was laughing
am.
at one of your story posts. You were talking about how you were at a spot. It was called really reminiscent of Kenosha.
Oh yeah, Kenosha, Wisconsin.
How they not laugh at how close it is to Kenosha, right?
Well, I went on stage and I go, "Is there any panocha in Kenosha?" And
They didn't get it.
Well, 2 people laughed, but they were in the kitchen.
Oh shit!
And
I said no, you don't want it.
And I went, "Orale, look, you do have DEI hires. they're in the kitchen."
Oh shit, bro. Yeah, I was laughing, dog. So you out there working?
I am,
in-
man. I'm on the road. I'm going to shoot my next comedy special here at my club on July 11th and 12th. So I'm on the road writing that and working it out. And in between that, I am starring in a movie with Eric Roberts and Sean Patrick Flannery called Coppers, and I'm playing a cartel dude. So I'm growing this big thing to have this different kind of look and play this different type of character. And we're gonna shoot that. We start shooting that at the end of the month.
Oh, that's dope.
So I go straight from the movie right to shooting the comedy special. I'm excited about this comedy special, bro, because I get to do it now, like a Chicano from New Mexico, right? My first comedy special, I shot that at the Tribeca Film Festival in New York. Robert De Niro and his daughter wanted to shoot some comedy specials. They wanted me to be one of those comedy specials.
Damn, they shot that?
Yeah, and them and Comedy Dynamics, who's like one of the top comedy, producers in the country. And but it was like a studio audience. It was, I'm more of a West Coast kind of comic and not an East Coast guy. So I didn't know if my humor was going to, transfer. So I kind of didn't do it with my, my natural accent and where I'm from. And so this one, I get to be me. And it's not a studio audience; it's a comedy club audience, and it's a lot of people who supported me for the whole 40 years, man. I've been an entertainer here in New Mexico, and so it's a big blessing for me to do that, and I'm excited, man. And I'm writing really good material, and I'm just excited. I can't wait to put it out there. And I'll be wearing my Pendleton, and I'll be me, man.
And you'll be on stage at your fucking club.
It's in my club.
At your fucking club.
He has this sticker on his
Oh yeah, I do, man. Yeah, I mean the only comedy club in the country with a Chicano's name on it.
Hey, but make some fucking noise for that right there, Jay.
Yeah. And so a long journey for that to happen.
Oh man.
And yeah, man, I'll have my Pendleton on, bro. I'll be wearing my fucking Converse. And because I designed my own Converse, so I have these black cool ass leather Converse, Chuck Taylors, and I get to be me, man, and I'm just really excited, and I'm going to do material that people don't know. I'm going to talk about my life and where I come from and really make fun of that, and a lot of people don't know this, man, and I'm excited for them to know who I really am and where I come from and why I ended up being who I am.
Yeah, man.
Right. So I'm excited.
I'm excited, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
That right
man.
there, dude, man.
So, and if you want to be in the audience, and if you're that kind of, New Mexican and you're a Chicano like me, man, you just go to quesadas.com and get tickets. 2 of the shows are already sold out. So the 2 7:00 shows, Friday and Saturday, are sold out, but there's still some tickets available for the 9:30 on both nights.
And the club, brother, I went twice.
Yeah.
I went right when you guys opened, and it was dope, super dope.
Yeah.
And
we were working out bugs, right?
Went and saw Tom Arnold about 2 weeks ago, and man, y'all worked out them bugs, bro.
Solid, right?
Solid. It sounds great. It looks great. It's an inviting atmosphere too. And then there's a really cool, like it's really easy for the audience to feel, because it's a big club.
Yeah.
You got
300
300 people.
Yeah.
They're, like in some clubs like that, you could kind of feel disconnected from the comedian or the artist, whoever's up there.
Yeah.
Never felt like the crowd was disconnected. Everybody was right there paying attention.
They are, man, and it was, I designed it purposely for that, and it's specific for stand-up comedy. I've been doing it a long time. I see the problems with a lot of rooms, but I wanted to take that risk and do 300 seats. Most average comedy clubs, around the country, average is 150, maybe 160. Yeah. That's a slow night for us. We're, on our slow night, we're pulling 150, 160.
That's fine.
But a lot of nights, we're putting $300 in them seats, man. Nice. And we're bringing A-list comics, man. As you know, look at my schedule coming up. You're gonna be amazed, man. DL's coming.
Oh, that's gonna be fucking hilarious.
Yeah. And everybody. I have a whole bunch of big name stars coming. That's just one right off the top of my head.
DL's
Cheryl
HBO
Underwood.
special.
Cheryl Underwood's coming.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I love Cheryl.
Yeah, right. So I got some people coming, man. I got some people coming, and I mix it up, right? It's I have women, I have men, I have Latinos, I have European Americans.
There you go.
I like that. That's a good one.
That's a nice broad brush.
Yeah, we should.
Well, because they
normalize
that. They all come from Europe, but they're all different. They all have different cultures, man.
Yeah,
so I don't want to be disrespectful to them, because I don't know if they're German or Swedish or
Polish
or English or or Italian.
European Americans.
Yeah, so they're European Americans, man, and they're good people. I have a lot of really good European American friends, man. So
we all do. We all do.
Yeah, they're not all bad people. Just so everybody needs to know that, right? We're not, and for us who are native, you know, people go, oh, you want to teach history because you hate us. And I'm like, no, we just want to teach history so everybody knows what the journey was.
Yeah,
just,
bro.
Just that's all we want. That's all we
you
want.
Ain't never gonna learn.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're not taught the history, brother.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and that's all that's the purpose of it. You know, it's like I find myself explaining things to people, and maybe it's just the way my brain works because I am a comic, and I try to look at things from all angles, right? If I'm gonna make fun of it, like I remember when DEI came, like DEI came out, and everybody was all heard to say, "Oh, you're hiring people because they're black, or you're hiring people because they're brown, or because they're women, or they're gay," and I go, "No, you got it all mixed up, man. DEI means you're hiring people despite the fact." That they're women, black, gay, or Mexican, or whatever, or Asian, or whatever, despite that fact. Because historically in this country, it was something that would inhibit you from getting the job. And what we're saying is, don't do that, right? Hire the most qualified, and if it's a white dude, all right, I'll use the white dude term. If it's a white dude, then he's the dude for the job, man. Because trust me, if I was hiring somebody, I'm gonna hire the guy with the most experience or the best fit for me, and you know, despite all the other stuff. And that's what that was, man. And we just twist shit now in this country. We're twisting shit into a knot that we're not gonna be able to untangle.
I don't think everybody got the memo, though. I agree with you. That was probably the intent in that, and I think a lot of people just kind of missed the point.
Yeah. So a plane goes down, and right away they want to know, was it a black pilot? Right?
Yeah.
Right? Because somehow he wasn't qualified enough to fly the plane. You know what I mean? And it was just because they wanted to know the color of his skin.
Yeah.
And that's wrong, man.
Yeah. That was a movie, man.
That was.
Yeah, it's not real.
Snakes on planes.
I'm talking about the Denzel movie. What are y'all doing?
I'm tired of these goddamn snakes on this motherfucking plane. Hey, no, but the one with Denzel when he flipped it upside down.
Yeah.
You can't, but a lot of people can't differentiate what's real and what's not, brother.
I know, man.
I guarantee there's people out there that are like, bro, that's Officer Gomie.
Yeah.
See this guy, right?
Yeah.
People can't, and like you said, I don't think people got the memo, dog. And you see it used to keep us divided against each other. Because if we're divided and we're fighting amongst each other, then the house always gonna win, dog. The house gonna keep on stacking, and they're like, yep, let these fucking idiots fight against themselves over shit that don't matter, and we're gonna keep on stacking.
They're doing that right now, man. They're doing that right now in locally, right? So it's not always happening at a national level. It's happening right here at a local level.
And that's where it affects us the most, brother.
It does, man. Because I wanted to bring something up, right? So I am one of the elected officials that built the Route 66 Visitor Center on 9 Mile Hill up on the west side. And I don't know if any of you saw the news story by, what's his name? Larry Barker.
Oh, shit.
But he put out a story with half the facts, half the information, basically purposeful to make it look like people in a community where I come from, where I was born and raised, that somehow if we want something better, that we want something that we feel we deserve because we're hardworking people and we pay taxes and we want amenities, that if we do it, it's corruption, it's a waste of public dollars. If anyone saw that racist,
that's fucking bullshit.
Racist, story that he put out, and I know for a fact because he did it at the behest of an ex-city councilor, because she was against it while I was trying to make it happen. And we were at a meeting when I was sitting as the chair of the Water Utility Authority, and we were voting to put water up that way for more than just the reason for the visitor center. I was also building a fire station for Bernalillo County up at the top of
Albuquerque's growing out, bro.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You need water up there.
You do. And you need, amenities, and you need things for the community
to do.
This
There
is
is a community up there
so
already,
look it up. Look up the Route 66 Visit Center, and you'd be amazed on how beautiful and all the amenities that we put in it. But she said to the guy who was a friend of mine, and this is a Republican. She went to him thinking he was going to be an ally, right? And she goes up to him, and she didn't know I was listening, and she tells him, "Are you going to vote for this beautiful facility out there where there's nothing but drunk Indians and gangbangers?"
A la verga, bro.
Wow.
A la
On the
verga.
west side.
And this is a Republican. He looked at her and he goes, "Don't talk to me ever again." And he stepped away because I had gone over this with everybody. And we didn't, this is something the community has been fighting for 30 years, bro.
30 years?
Yeah,
30.
we nickel and dimed it. We get $100,000 from this senator, in this year, and then the next year, and then we get money from here, and then the county put a little bit of money, and the city and the mayor put a little bit of money, and then we got more from the state, and the governor went, "Oh man, that's a beautiful facility. I think you guys deserve that. Here's some more money." So we pieced it all together, and then we had this money, and through this whole mechanism, so we do a thing on the west side called Think Big, and it's West Fest. And what it is it's a community party, but what we do is we give away stuff, but you have to fill out a questionnaire. So in the questionnaire, we ask you, what do you want?
Yeah.
What would you like to see in your community? And so this was a big part of that. We'd like to have a space where we can have, events and celebrate who we are on this side of town. And so this place has an event center, has an outdoor amphitheater for local artists to music or poetry or comedy or theater, an a little outdoor amphitheater. Inside's an event center on the second floor. It has the most beautiful views you've ever seen in your life in Albuquerque. And it looks over that, and you could have a wedding there, and you could have a quinceañera there.
That sounds fucking
or
dope.
whatever, right? And then downstairs, there's a museum where we have cars and we do lowriders, and, it's on Route 66, so we want to celebrate cars. Cars are really important to our culture, and people are embracing lowriders now more. They're trying to say, okay, that maybe that isn't a gang thing or a bad thing, right?
Nah.
That there's a small percentage of
all.
that, but that's everything, right?
Yeah, no matter what.
No matter what. That could be cornhole, and,
We all seen how corrupt those Enron motherfuckers were, so
I was
you
about to
can't
say,
tell me they ain't gang
right?
members, my dog.
Right? Yeah, it could be a horseshoe club, and there's going to be one guy slanging something.
No shit, bro.
But other than that, right, we try to do something good for the community, and then you have elected officials, right? Then you have elected officials running for office, see this news story, and go, and go on their social media and go, I can't believe this and that and that and this, and I'm going to hold people accountable and this and that. And I'm like, and because it was all brown legislators and elected officials who worked really hard and put money into that, listening to our constituents and build this. And now they're going to run for office on this, saying, what a waste. And they don't know nothing about this project.
Wow.
So that means they're not connected to this community.
about that community,
So I'm going
yeah,
to say this. If you're running for office in my community and you're against the Route 66 Visitor Center, please move to the Heights and go run for office over there, because we don't want you on our side of town, man. If you're not going to fight for us to have equal amenities and equal things like everybody else, we don't want you there, and we don't want you elected. And I'm just saying that. You young people who vote, please, man, look who's actually supporting the things, Councilor Pena, they're going after her seat. She built the brand new West Side Community Center. You should go see it, bro.
Brother, it's
beautiful. Did you see it?
Oh, yeah, hell yeah,
the
bro.
gym and
It's
everything.
nice, bro.
If without her, we would have never gotten that.
My boys play Bernalillo County basketball over there.
Oh, okay.
And it's been just watching the process, bro. Like, it's just been step after step.
Yeah.
Now the fucking bleachers are nice,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
Like we went in and it was finally I don't know if it's done, but
no,
damn,
stuff
bro.
more coming. A pool's coming.
We've been there.
Oh, yeah.
Damn,
Another
dog.
pool out there? That's
Yeah,
We've been
because we don't
playing
have
ball
none
with-
of that.
Yeah.
We have none of that, right? She built that Southwest Safety Center, which is going to have a police station, a fire station up there on the Southwest Mesa, right? So people can respond, So, we deserve, the same things everybody. We don't want more. We don't want more.
That's the same.
We don't expect to have more. We expect to have equal.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
economic justice is what we're asking for on that side of town. So that's what you got to support. So then you have these news medias, and I guess that's the new media, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I came here today more than anything. Yeah, I want to promote the movie and the comedy club, but what I want to promote is we need to stick together. We need to pay attention who's running for office locally, and you need to do your homework, man, and you need to know. Don't listen to the news and get all your facts from there, man, because I know I don't. I'm a reader, man, right? I know everything, and I read that stuff because I'm a nerd and I'm a former county commissioner. So if I'm going to blast a bill or if I'm against some kind of legislation, well, I need to know what it is and how it really functions.
For sure,
right?
because if you don't have the information, then you're going to come in with half-truths and you're going to start talking and you're going to be like, oh, shit, I might have been wrong.
And everybody's putting out half-truths, right? That's the new, and you could just do that with no accountability, man.
Because it speaks to people that when you're talking to them, it's the narrative that they want to get behind regardless. So even if it's a half-truth, if it supports the narrative you want to support, you're like, fuck it. They run with it. And they'll run with it to the end of the earth, bro. Even though it's half
a truth,
half bullshit.
Yeah, man. It's like, oh, they spent money on sound equipment and it's sitting there in storage because we haven't opened it up. And they're right. It should be opened up. So I want to explain to the people that part of the story is true. It is not completely open. At first, Bernalillo County was going to run it, but because there's a tap room in there and then we have an event center, which would be, so if you're going to have a wedding, you're going to have to be able to have the ability to serve booze and liquor.
Yeah, bartenders. It's a one-stop shop for everything.
So, and so if you want to have an event there, you want to be able to do that. Well, the county's not set up for that. We don't have no facilities where we deal with alcohol or alcohol sales or anything, but the city does, right? So we built it during COVID, so you couldn't really open it then. And so they had those years on it, acting like we just didn't do anything. And then he says, and so we turned it over to the city. But we did. So we transferred it over to the city because the city can handle with the liquor in, because they have the convention center. They have all these other places where you can get beer. I think you can do it at the Aqua or whatever, the zoo and the aquatic.
Now you could do it. Bro, that tripped me out. I was walking around the zoo a couple years ago. I was like, what the fuck? You mean I could get beer now?
You can get a beer.
Right.
Well, that's what, and I could say the same thing about, oh, what a waste of taxpayer dollars, because we don't go to the zoo. We don't go to the thing, right? We don't build things just because everybody's going to go, right?
Every single day.
Every day or whatever, man, but if there was an event there, I would go. And I support it, and I think we should have it. I think it's important for those to be out in our community, right?
Sure.
I just got upset, man, and I know that you have a platform for Chicanos at a level that most people don't. Yeah. And I know that me and you talked a little bit about it, and you went, "Oh no, we need to talk about that."
Hell yeah, bro, for sure. Well, because the thing is, brother, is nowadays you're talking about the legacy media, right? Okay, yeah, people don't really get their news from there anymore, and the people that do are too easily led in a opposite direction, right? Yeah. Again, I feel like people tune into something that just pushes a narrative that they want to hear.
That's right.
Versus when you sit down and have a conversation, brother, you're supposed to look at it from all angles, right? Like
it used to be that way,
and it's not anymore.
Yeah.
Because I'm glad you said you're like that part of the story was true. Because see, most people would be like, no, fuck no, the whole thing, fuck the whole thing, it's all wrong.
Yeah.
But the fact that you said that shows exactly where you're coming from, bro. Yeah. And if they're not there to support a community that they're trying to run for, then what the fuck are they doing?
So I called Larry Barker back. I called him back to say, hey, dude, there was a feasibility study. We even did a study by a third party so that we're involved to see what's the viability of this Route 66 Visitor Center, and is it right? Is it a viable project using taxpayer dollars?
Right.
And it came back saying absolutely yes. And it even said in 3 years it would be self-sufficient. So then we wouldn't have to pour any more tax dollars in it because of the tap room, and to be able to somebody lease out, and run the event part, like, upstairs for weddings and all those types of events, that they would rent that, right? And same thing with the tap room. And then if people were putting stuff in the museum, they would pay, whatever, and we would have someone run it. The city would still run it, but it would be generating dollars. That would be the first thing besides the zoo and the biopark that would be generating dollars.
Yeah,
so it's not a misuse or a mishandling of public funds. It's the exact way we should be handling public funds, man.
Yeah.
This is the catch. This is the catch, and then we'll move on. But this is the catch. So somebody from the Heights saw that and went, oh, what a great idea. That's awesome. Maybe we should build one in the Northeast Heights on Central up there for people coming in from the East.
Yikes.
What?
The newspaper, all the news media is going, what a brilliant idea.
Oh, hell no.
Yikes.
What a good idea. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a nice, we support that.
To support the upgrade the neighborhoods that they're already gentrifying.
Yikes.
It's because they already have a plan for it,
Yep.
and they don't want you to have a plan for your neighborhood.
Exactly.
That's
because they
really
don't
what it
want
comes
the
down
value
to.
of our houses to go up.
Right, exactly, because you're pulling traffic your way.
Because the
rather
more
than their
amenities are around our homes, the higher the value of our homes become. And we're in the Southwest Mesa. There's not. I mean, let's be honest. We've been eating out of food trucks for years, bro.
100%.
Not that we don't like food trucks.
They're fire,
I love.
right.
Yeah,
Fire.
food trucks is the best food anyway.
Fire.
Right? And it's the cheapest food, and it's better. But we still deserve the amenities, right? We don't have any major. We don't have a Texas Roadhouse. We don't have stuff up on 98th. You know, they give us McDonald's. They give us Sonic. They give us Whataburger.
Yeah.
They give us
Anything
Pan
come off a
Express.
truck.
They give right. Anything that they just throw in a microwave and serve to us. But we don't have. You know, there's a couple of little restaurants. I don't want to put them down. Like Tanampa, and there's a little diner. I'm not going to put them down because they're hustling and they're feeding us, man. So I don't want to put them down.
Have you tried Michi's yet?
Nuh-uh.
Brother, it's right there by the IMAX, right there by the Regal, right there by like Coors and Narinal, kind of little past it.
You're down in the South Valley.
Yeah,
further.
yeah.
Hey,
We're talking
brother,
like-
I know it's you know.
Yeah, but the South Valley's doing better too. Yeah, the La Estancia area is doing way
Michi's
better.
is fire.
Is it good?
Oh, bro.
Okay.
Their micheladas are fire. Their asada tacos. They got a fucking asada nacho, bro.
Oh,
I'm telling
really?
you. But again, it's hidden.
No, and
It's
that's not
tucked
too
away.
far though.
Exactly.
We can get there, right?
100%.
We can get there.
There needs to be more of that
On the
up
west
there,
side.
bro. People live.
But that's
People live there, bro. What the
Dude.
fuck are you guys doing?
No, a lot of
I
people
know.
live there. Not just a
Crazy.
little bit of people
No.
live there now.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff came because me and Councilor Pena, we did a bus tour with NAIOP. So NAIOP's like they're the organization that do businesses.
Yeah,
and small.
yeah,
You
yeah.
guys know. I don't have to tell you. But just for your listeners, if you don't know what NAIOP is, right? So we took the NAIOP people in a bus and we drove them around up there, and they're like, "What the fuck?" There's people all over here. And we're going, that's our point.
They don't know.
We want you to open your businesses that you own on that side. We want you to open one up on this side as well. Because
make
you're gonna
money over here, too.
That McDonald's on 98th is the number one McDonald's in the region.
Shit.
It's cracking.
Yeah.
It's got the
cracking.
two-
I mean, to be number one in the region?
That is crazy work.
Yeah, when
That's
they got them
crazy
on
shit.
every 5 miles.
Yeah. The number one in the you go to McDonald's there, you're like, oh man, you got to get in line, man.
Yeah.
You know, but hey, it's an option for us to eat, right?
Yeah.
And I used to do when I first ran for office. I tell this joke. I said, you know, like every family, I raised 3 daughters, and we would fight. You know, about what we wanted for dinner for a half hour. I go, the difference between where you live and I live is in now we'd fight for another half hour who's going to drive into Albuquerque to get it. I go, and this is what's sad.
Yeah.
I fucking live in Albuquerque.
100%.
Right, and so that's the point, right? That's the point I was trying to make on that. Don't buy, I'm mad at the media because they did this to themselves, man. Right, you got to work on a story for that long, and then you don't even call me back, right? Don't even want to know what the truth is. You didn't read the feasibility study. You didn't do any of that. All you talk to is people who were against it. You talked to the lady who thought that only drunk Indians and gangbangers live in my area.
And fuck her.
That fucking pissed me off.
My question now is though, for the people at home who are listening,
Yeah.
where is the activity? What's the call to action? Like, what can we do now that we're aware of this to make sure that this does happen and it does go through?
So I think that, what you need to do is you need to call your elected officials and say, open it. It's built.
It's already built.
It's built, man. We
It's done.
built
So
it.
that
It
shit's
took us
ready to go.
30 years to build it. It's so beautiful. I want you to, if you're on the west side, go up on West 9 Mile Hill. Because back there, that's where we took chicks. Right?
Yeah.
But you go up there, míralo, he's back there. And he's telling me he has 2 kids from up there. 10. Cochino.
Hey, he took her back there a lot, but
Every day.
He took her back, then he took her back again.
Because the views are beautiful up
They
there.
really are.
Go take a cruise up there and look at it, man. And hopefully an event will happen really soon. I know the city's really working on opening it up, but look, man, it's amazing. It's the views views, man. You could see Santa Fe, you could see our mountains, you could see going towards Las Cruces, you could see all that mountain range.
Nice.
You see the city. I always laugh, right? Because everybody goes, oh, we love the heights because we have a view. I go, yeah, your view is of us.
100%, bro.
Yeah, you're looking at the desert. You know what our view is? The Rio Grande, and the Sandias.
Coming over 9 Mile Hill, brother.
I'm sorry, the West Side has way better views, bro.
Nothing's better than coming over 9 Mile Hill when the sun's coming down, all the lights start coming up.
And that was the community's point, right? Because when you're coming in and you see the lights, and then you see a billboard saying Route 66 Visitor Center, right?
Right.
Oh, well, let's go check it out. So what that does is it gets people to get on Central, right? Because people don't get on Central. You know why Uptown and all that's booming? Because people stay on the freeway and they go up there. But if we can get them off the freeway there on Central and send them down, then they're headed towards Old Town and where our amenities for tourism takes place. Right. If you want to save downtown, you got to get people downtown, right? And so that's why that art project was stupid, and I'm going to tell you why. I think we all agree the art project was stupid.
So I've heard.
Yeah.
All I know is they can't make a U-turn.
Well, yeah. I mean, it messed up our street. You put a bus where we already had 2 bus lines going.
It's crazy.
But because I travel a lot, man, they have art buses, but art buses are from the airport. So you get people from the airport and you get them to your downtown. That's what an art bus should have been. So it should have come from the airport down University. That way college kids who live in those apartments and stuff, they could access the art bus that would take them directly to past C&M, into UNM, and then right at UNM, then you go down Central and you go downtown. That should have been the art. But it's funny that an actor, comedian, knows more. I mean, I'm just saying, that's sad, bro. That an actor, comedian knows better how to do infrastructure and how to grow a city than some of the people that we have in place. Right? So for you young people who follow this man right here, right? I love this man right here, and I love both you fellas because your mindset is, how do we do better? Right. No Let's have discussions on how we do better, and I want you to be sure that you tell your listeners, man, that I know voting seems like a dumb thing to do, and it gets disheartened, and because it's ugly and we've twisted it, but local elections are so important, bro. On what happens for us as a community, they 100% matter. The small ones, commissioners, city councilors, right?
I'm big on voting. I do the mail-in voting, and you know, because you're able to actually look up. Like, I'm looking up what the judges are doing. I'm looking up what this bill is. So So
me too. It's like when they put out that bill, it's like, oh, they're not going to tax overtime. And then you read the bill and they're like, oh, they're not going to tax overtime up to 20%. Right. So if you make more than 20, so if your check and your overtime is over 20% of your check, they're gonna tax the shit out of it. You know, so you got to read, right? You got to read. And hey, I'm still down with the 20% because for me, it's a start. So I don't bash that. I'm not bashing that, right? I'm saying, okay, well, if it's less than 20%, then it's tax-free. Good for you. I'm glad for you because that's what I want, more money in your pocket. Because, you know, I paid taxes this year, bro. I cried. Right? It's just rough. But that's my civic duty, man. That's why I'm an American, man. So I did. I wrote that check and then I came back yesterday and signed it. I'm kidding.
Sleep on it.
I signed it right.
You just gotta forget. You look at it like, okay, half of this shit ain't mine. At the end of the day, whatever check you get, that's the way I look at it.
That's not mine. But
this ain't mine.
But as a county commissioner, I understand the importance of that, right? So I can't fix your roads. I can't put in lighting. I can't look. You know, I get that the other side of the aisle. You know, the far left side of the aisle, you know, they want me to put, so they'll bash the Route 66 visitors because they want me to put all that money into behavioral health. You know, and look, I get it, man. I'm not going to say I don't get it, but I do because I spent 8 years really trying to hustle to figure out how do we fix that. But because I came from the school board, what I did was a couple things. I created school-based health centers. They're mobile units, right? So what we do for our children, how we can improve education and improve, how in the direction of how our city goes, especially with education, is that we have to provide wraparound services for our children in order for them to have the ability to do better in school, right? So food is very important, but so is behavioral health and mental health and all that. And we don't provide that right now. And it's really, that's not APS's job. That's our job as a community. So, and I'm very aware of that. So I allocated and fought for money, and I built 2 mobile units that go to different Title I elementary schools. And so with these school-based health centers, it actually provides services for everybody in the community. So if your kids go to that school and you're not feeling well, instead of spending your whole day at the emergency room just to see if you can get a prescription or whatever, you're able to get on this mobile unit and see a doctor or see a nurse practitioner.
Wow, that's really cool.
And teachers now can jump on there instead of taking the whole day off from not teaching for a cold or whatever. They can go in there, and so Melanie Stansberry loved that so much, she gave me money to build a 3rd one before I left. So they're building the 3rd one.
Nice.
So there's things that we can do. Right, as a community to improve,
for sure,
our communities, man.
Yeah.
But you can't, but we can't spend every dime on it. You have to be able to put in amenities for people that deserve it, who want to be able to go to the West Side Community Center and go to the gym there. That's better than any gym you could possibly go for. And all you got to do is be all you got to do is be a member, and it doesn't cost you nothing. You know what I mean? And when the swimming pool comes, something for the kids to do. The safety center, which is super important. That's going to really improve the quality of life. The Route 66 Visitor Center is going to be a great thing. We're going to be doing events there. We've done one already. We do the West Fest and Think Big. And and I want to do a comedy festival up there, and I know that the amphitheater wants to do some local theater. So it's funny where we're at today. When I first started doing theater here, I worked for a company called La Compañía de Teatro de Albuquerque, right? So it was the only bilingual theater group in Albuquerque.
That's wild.
And
the only one?
Yeah, the only one, and it was in one of these spaces. So it was probably like 4 spaces down. Right? That's what we had, right? And everybody, they had the Albuquerque Little Theater, they had the Chemo, they have all these really great facilities, but we didn't do anything that we didn't have facilities for us to do stuff there. So I'm passionate, so now you know why I'm passionate that we also have those types of amenities, those types of amenities to do those types of things, because there is nothing on that side of the river like the Route 66 Visitor Center. There's just not, but there is now.
Well, see, the thing is, brother, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say, to your point, people advocating for behavioral health improvements. You're thinking the same thing.
Right there,
Everything you're talking about when you're enriching the culture, that affects it in a positive manner.
Exactly.
Because now I have pride in my neighborhood.
Yes.
We're not just a bunch of drunks and gangbangers.
Yeah.
Fuck you. That sort of thing. That's exactly what changes people. So you don't always have to intervene in an extreme way.
100%
you get ahead of it, because now it's like, I hold my head up high. Yeah, I live in that neighborhood and we got some cool shit.
Yeah, and we have a future. We see light at the end of the tunnel. We know we can achieve these sorts of things, because I did the gang intervention programs for YDI when I was a young man. Those kids, and even me, right? I was taught growing up that I had 2 paths, prison and death. I wasn't going to buy that. It wasn't in my spirit to buy that. I changed that for myself. But I knew a lot of dudes who bit that.
It's like, that's your
because they didn't have any other examples either, though, right?
So why educate myself?
Right, exactly.
I got these paths anyways. I might as well just accept it and be the best at that I can be.
That's all I see.
And see, I've seen, bro, same shit, same exact shit. And the reason I feel like I didn't end up going all the way down that fucking path, and I never needed to fucking gangbang, none of that. Hey, I sold dope for a long time, brother. I ain't even gonna sit here and act like I didn't, because I fucking did, bro. I did a lot of damage to my community because it was the only way I could see a way out. It was all I was taught. It was all I thought I could do good, right? So, but I had my familia behind me, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of my homies, a lot of people I was close to didn't have a dad, didn't have a mom.
Yeah.
They were built in a situation that was completely broken, and mine wasn't, right? So it was easier for them to accept, oh, you're just gonna end up in the pinta.
Yeah.
You're gonna die at a young age. And when they started clicking up, they found a community and a family that they thought they were missing.
Exactly.
When at the end of the day,
it wasn't.
Fuck no, dog. Those OGs, my OGs that I thought were OGs that cared about me, they didn't give a fuck about me at all.
Well, they couldn't, man, because they didn't know what that is, bro. So it's really not their fault either,
It's not.
because they don't know what it is, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'd have people going, oh, why are you protecting that kid? And I was a young man. He's like, that kid's a gangbanger and this thing. I go, he was, by the way. He's working with me now. And they go, well, his parents. And I go, really? You want to blame his parents? And yeah, I sure would. I go, okay, well, they're in the graveyard over there at...
go yell at them.
Yeah.
Right? Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck getting your point across.
Right, exactly.
You know, because this kid's being raised by his grandparents who are afraid of him. They're terrified of this kid.
Because they don't know how to talk to him.
And the only reason I'm not afraid of him is because he ain't afraid of... I'm not afraid of him, and he knows that. Right? So he respects me. And so I'm going to change his life. I'm using that respect to change his life. Yeah, man.
And by having places, that's exactly where I was, Len Words, when you said that, with the behavioral health, right?
Yeah.
Not just throwing money at counselors, because, for example, right? So I worked at a community center out there in Grants. This is the Future Foundation's family center, right? So it was built, I don't know if you're familiar with the Crystal LaPierre situation that happened up there.
Yeah.
She was murdered in the mountains. It was fucking the worst shit ever, bro. And they built something for the community out there in Grants to have a place for the kids to go. There was nowhere to go.
Yeah.
All you could do is sell dope, smoke dope, and do dumb shit, bro. That was the only options you had, right? So they built the community center. Very nice fucking facility, bro. State of the art basketball courts. Like, it was awesome, bro. When I started working there, though, I realized there was an issue. The workers there were not relating to the kids that were there because they did not understand. The workers didn't come from their background, brother. Guess what? I did. So when a kid was wilding out 9 times out of 10, hey, go get Johnny, go get Maestas. What's going on? And I could talk to these kids because I wasn't talking
them, bro.
at them, bro. I understood what they were going through.
You're like, hey, let's talk
what's popping, bro? Like, what's cracking? Like, and a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, bro, I could diffuse the situation. And this was still me being a dumb little idiot at like 21, 22. I was still a dumbass, right? But I understood that there was a disconnect here because a lot of the staff just didn't understand where the kid was coming from. But if you can reach these children, brother, without going to a counselor or just throwing money at behavioral health, whatever the fuck that even looks like, right? You have facilities, you have places that they can go, people that they can be proud of, or people they recognize. I bet you're talking about homie that they said was a gangbanger. He probably looked at you and he's like, he kind of looks like me a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
With similar skin tone here. He's talking like I am. He understands. And look where he is. Maybe if he's like me, then when I'm older, fuck, I could be like him.
Oh, no, I was broke ass, man. I was them at that time. Exactly. You know, in my life, I was them. Bro, I had a car with one tinted window, homie. I didn't, you know, I mean, I show up in my hoopty and get out, and they'd be like, oh, my God, he's poor too, man. But, you know, but he has a different thought. He has a different vision. Right? And I used theater at the time, man. And these kids, you know, theater, you know, I'm not going to do theater, you know. But I did. I made them do it, and it changed. They didn't even look. I'll get emotional every time I tell this story, man. But we did a play called Joker. We wrote it. I let them do most of the writing. We did it at the Chemo Theater. I rented the Chemo Theater. We sold out the whole weekend. You know, and these kids were the actors in it. And I played a character that was up and away, but it was about me reflecting. I was in prison, and it was about me reflecting on my life. And these kids would act out the stuff that was happening in their life on this stage, right? And and we had these really killer posters. My friend Oscar Lozoya, he's gone now, man. But fucking Oscar, man, was the baddest, one of the best photographers in the world, Latino photographers in the world, black and white. Look him up, Lozoya.com. We'll look at his work online. And he did a poster for us, man. It was beautiful. It kicked ass. It had so much emotion in it and everything, and so we packed this house, and then so the play ended, and I told everybody, go out front, sign some posters, shake some hands, right? They're like, oh, all right. So they all went out, and I left. I didn't go out there because this wasn't about me, right? This wasn't my journey. I had my own journey. And when it was over, when they told me everybody was out or gone, I got up and I went out to the front of and they were still, there was a few people on their side. I didn't even recognize those kids, bro.
Yeah.
They didn't even look like the same kids. And then, right then and there, I went, right then and there, I knew we can change people. We could change people's lives. But you're right. That's why you hit it on the head. It's about taking pride in our community, having things that we could take pride in. Not every kid's going to do it. Some kids are just knuckleheads, right?
Yeah, it is what it is.
And it is what it is. But there's going to be a lot of kids going to say, I take pride in where I come from. Those kids from now on always walked with their heads square up.
For sure.
And I saved every single one of them. None of them ended up in prison, and none of them ended up dead.
Yeah,
man, bro.
They didn't become actors or writers.
And that
wasn't the point.
Yeah,
that's
not the point.
It was to show them that they could be someone different. Yeah, they don't have to be what people make.
What people are saying that you're gonna be.
Yep. Yeah, for sure,
it's
bro.
that imagination. You open that up in a young person's mind.
Imagination is the best thing in the world.
And it's the most dangerous thing. You can kill a lot of people by putting them all in the same box.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
The imagination is one of the greatest assets we have, and it can easily be destroyed.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
You get a couple of people to say a couple of things, bro, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, no, wait, I shouldn't think like that. Fuck.
No, we
that's
need you
too
to
far.
think this way.
Exactly.
We need you to think this way.
Think this way because that's too crazy. I'll never, bro, people used to tell me I was crazy. Bro, when I was in the 7th grade and I said, yeah, I'm going to be a rapper. Fucking Chicano from New Mexico, you want to rap? Get the fuck out of here. What are you talking? I'm like, nah. I was so... Brother, I had blinders on. I couldn't hear anything that anybody was saying. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do what I want to do. Go ahead and tell me what I can't do. Dale, run it. Keep going, bro. Because it's interesting, because I've said this before, dog. Like, I went through a phase of my life where I was only fueled by people's negative energy. When someone said I couldn't do it, I'm like, motherfucker. And I kept that shit, bro. So I was fueled by proving people wrong. And then I kind of pivoted and I realized, you know what? Fuck proving those people wrong. I'm going to prove the people that love me right.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean?
That's right.
But I'm coming to the realization nowadays, bro. It's kind of like a battery, brother. You need the negative and the positive. Yeah. You have to be fueled off of both because if not, you're gonna go one way too far, bro. You gotta hold on to that motherfucking user 567. Fuck Johnny James. That fool's got a big ass head or some dumb shit. You gotta hold on to that.
I said you.
Exactly, dog. You gotta hold on to both of those, bro.
I've had people say you suck, and I go, well, that was more like a blow, but but thanks, bro. Thanks, man.
And using humor.
Because sometimes that happens, right? I've had people. I'm a comic, man. I can guarantee you, they're gonna be 10% of those people and say, "Fuck this dude."
For sure,
right? Sucks. I don't relate. I don't get it, and that's okay. That's all right. I tell people comedy is relative, right? And it depends on how many relatives you get to come see. That's success, right?
And it's also situational, dog. Like some people ain't gonna relate to the story you're telling, bro.
Yeah.
And that's why I always go back to because, bro, I've been a fan of comedy forever. But I'll never forget the first time that I seen George Lopez's first like big stand up.
Yeah.
Brother, when he was saying the things he was talking about. Yeah. We had never seen somebody on such a level like that say it that way. It was fucking crazy, bro. When he talked about the kukui and I was sitting there, I was like, this is crazy. He's literally talking about all of our lives on TV.
He did.
Same way when I seen Coco, bro. Coco, brother, I was a grown man in this movie theater. Don't look at me. Don't fucking look at me, man.
I know.
Because my nana, bro, my nana was not, bro, she was Coco, dog. I'm telling you, bro. It's crazy. We kept my auntie, bro. They kept her, bro. We never put her in a home, bro. We just don't. It's not how. It's not in our DNA. No. That's not how we do it, bro. No. We'll keep them till 98. They don't even know where they are.
I got my 92-year-old mother. I built her an apartment under my house. She's there with me because she had a 3-bedroom, pretty big house, and I'm thinking a family could use this.
Yeah, dude. That's exactly the point. place we are right now, we're in the middle of selling my mom's house to downsize her.
Well, because like somebody can use that, right? A family starting out can use those bedrooms, right?
Exactly.
Give somebody a shot. Because if you're not going to use it, then don't be there. Yeah. So that's what I did. And you know, I know I sound like a good son, but I'm actually like paying her back for some shit. But you know, I mean, it was funny because I told her, Mom, I'm coming out with my own gummies, man. I'm gonna do Gomie gummies. And I go, I'm gonna get in the marijuana business, right? And she goes, again?
Again?
And I go, what are you talking about those 10 joints you found in high school? I didn't sell those. Those were mine. Yeah, okay, funny. I sold 3 of them, but the rest were mine, man.
It was balanced. The other ones paid for themselves because I sold those 3.
I only had to sell 3 to have my weed.
So it was free.
Yeah, but you know, the journey is the journey. And yeah, adversity is what makes us strong.
It is.
Don't let it destroy you, right? Because I deal with it every day. People attack me every day. And, people attack me because I help people. They're like, oh, you know. And then I look at their profile and it's all about God and Jesus and Christianity. But they're mad at me because I'm helping people.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess I'm not helping the right
kind of people. Yeah.
I guess.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's
brother.
just a crazy, what we're living in, man. But that's not going to stop me from helping people. Oh. It's not going to stop me from doing movies and comedy and, building my comedy club and, using that platform to help people. I will never stop doing that.
And see, at the end of the day, bro, it gets kind of simple when you look at it, right? So either you're a shithead or you're not.
Yeah.
It's fucking simple. Like, there's people out there that are genuine shitheads. You said it too. Like, some people hey, it is what it is, bro.
Yeah.
People can be shitty people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day, not everyone is. For the most part, when you sit down with somebody and you have a conversation, I don't care how far on each side you are, I guarantee you're going to find some sort of common ground, dog.
Mm-hmm. Usually, man.
Almost 9 times out of 10, there's going to be, you're like, oh shit.
Unless they're so closed off that it doesn't happen. And some are, but that's a small percentage.
It is.
Yeah. Right? That's like it's like just saying that's like saying all brown people are criminals.
Yeah, that's the craziest fucking statement ever.
And you're like, no. But we agree that we would like to catch criminals and put them in, if you're a rapist or a violent offender, there's certain things that I would, if you're selling fentanyl to my people.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
Yeah, then we want you to get the fuck out. And I don't care what color you are. It's not about a color. It's about your actions. It's about the human being that you are. One guy asked me one time, "Are you racist?" I go, "Yeah, I am. Against assholes. I don't like assholes."
Yeah, that's a fucking growing race too, dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't know that was gonna grow so large.
It's fucking, they're pretty fucking chocolate starfish and hot dog flavored water out this motherfucker.
It is,
bro.
man. But every generation, for the history of man has had to overcome man.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We've had to overcome man. And I believe we will do it again.
I agree, bro. I feel like you need adversity. Like if you're not intentionally, or even not even intentionally, if you're not putting yourself through some sort of test, through the fire, when the fire reaches you, brother, you're gonna fucking cook. Yeah. You're not gonna know how to deal with it, right? You're just gonna burn.
Yeah.
If you've never experienced it, you're gonna be in trouble if it comes later on, bro. You really are. You're not gonna know how to deal with it. You're gonna freak out.
I'll use Tiger Woods as an example.
Okay.
Right? When all his life came crumbling down, the day that he realized that he was just a man, that he wasn't this superhero that we've all made him out to be and painted him to be, because we loved him, man, and we were so happy. He was our greatest superhero ever.
He really was.
Right? And we were sad at him for a minute. Women probably hated him more because of what he did. But we were kind of sad at him for a minute. But we were going to let him forgive him because we knew he was this human.
Yeah.
He couldn't get over the fact that he was. Now he's finally come to terms.
It took him a long time.
Took him a long time.
Forgive himself. I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm
'Cause he
saying.
fell from
It
that.
destroyed.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is exactly what happened to Tiger Woods, because he fell from grace and he realized that he wasn't this superhero.
Yeah.
And he was just a man, and damn it,
Yeah. He was reading his own press, though.
Yeah, and I don't want to be just a man. I don't want to be just a man.
because we had elevated him to such stature.
But I think Charlie Woods is going to get the lesson that his dad didn't give Tiger.
For sure.
So guess who benefits from that?
sure.
Charlie does.
The next
Because
generation.
Tiger knows now that there's no such thing as a superhero.
Yeah.
Just do your best, son.
Yep.
Just go out there and be your best and do the best that you can be. That's all I expect from you.
Because you're gonna fuck up.
Because you are.
You're gonna,
Yeah.
and you should fuck up.
Yeah,
you
well,
should fuck
we
up.
all do, whether we want to or not, because I think the universe has to teach you that lesson.
It has to.
Yeah.
That's why I've always been against the everybody should get a trophy. The world's made out of marshmallows.
Yeah.
Because my brother, not everyone gets a trophy in real life, and the
True.
world is got a lot of edges, brother.
It's true, man, and and I don't fight against that. I don't resist that, right? Because that's the way I raised, and we were good. We didn't have, all my friends. We were good, man. We survived this craziness, man. We were West Siders at the beginning of the gang stuff here in Albuquerque. This was the late 70s, early 80s. We had all these 18th Street and Happy Homes and all these LA gangs, and we had to navigate that. And we just wanted to play baseball, man. But but because our reality, because of where we lived, that wasn't our reality. We had to learn to navigate that. And but all of my friends, did well, right? They all did well, man. And I'm proud of all my friends. I don't see eye to eye with some of them these days, right? I'm a little disappointed.
It happens.
But it happens.
Yeah.
I still love them, right? And I still think that as a human being, they did really good, right?
Especially coming from where you guys came from.
Yeah, they did really good.
You can always recognize it. I'm the same. I'm like, man, I got, one of my homies, we're really, really close. And we're still pretty close, brother. One of my homeboys, Reyes. And me and him, bro, they always looked at us like, there's no way these two fuckers gonna make it out. Like, when we first met, we almost beat the fuck out of each other over a chick. Yeah. And we became real close friends. And brother, he's got a family, dog, thriving, successful electrician. I look at him, bro. I don't get to see him as much, bro. But every now and then.
He's busy, man. Yeah.
Busy, I'm busy, but I'm like, bro, every time I see him, I'm like, brother, we fucking did it, bro. All the people that said we couldn't do this shit, bro, fuck all of them, because we did it, bro. And I get to watch now. I still see the ones that were talking shit. Like, get to watch. Go ahead. I still got my foot on the gas, bro.
Yeah, I mean, we're not even there yet, right? What people don't realize is we're at the beginning of something. Because this is a long, bro. This is a long journey. We're in for the long game.
Yeah, we've been playing chess, brother.
We have been.
Yeah.
Talking about playing chess and the long game.
All right.
How long does it usually take you to work a set, brother?
Probably year and a half, I think, depending on how many gigs you could fit in with your life. I mean, now that I'm not a county commissioner, it's freed me up a bit. I took the 8 years to help this community and help my community and advocate for us. So I turned down a lot of, work, especially film and television, because I couldn't commit for like 2-3 weeks on set. And so the answer was no. And that was hard for me because I'd worked so hard and starved for so long to be that guy, But I'm picking it back up, and I really truly believe that God had His plan for me, and that part of it was to take a breather and help my community, and so He's got me back on track. Like I said, I'm starting a movie here real soon, a week or so, and got a couple on the table, a couple other films on the table.
That's really dope.
We're in negotiations for those right now. Again, I'm excited. I'm doing another comedy special, and it's going to be my real comedy special as far as I'm concerned. And not that I didn't like the other one, I just didn't love it. And people like it, I guess, enough, but it wasn't really what I was working towards. And so I got to work towards it. So yeah, it takes some time, man. You got to test the material. It's got to grow. Some of it is more tested than others, but I have confidence in it. I have confidence that people are going to relate to it. And again, like I said earlier, I'm going to talk about my early, how did I end up being a stand-up comic? And that it's funny how that happened, and so that's going to be, more about what the special is. I don't have a name for it yet, but I'll since I have respect for you, I'm gonna give a teaser of what it is. All right. So it's called A Chicano Named Bozo. Because I don't want to give any away more of that, but from the age of 2 years old till I was 18 years old, my name was Bozo.
Really?
But nobody knows that. My friends do. People I went to elementary school, middle school, and high school do. Right? My family does. But after I turned 18, I killed Bozo, and I want to talk about that.
Oh, that's gonna hit hard for all of them for sure.
But it's funny.
Oh,
I'm putting it in a really funny spin, and the reason why I did it is because I confessed to my wife, and she kind of knew, and I told her I think I'm gonna embrace it now that I'm 62 years old. That it wasn't a bad thing, It was just hard to navigate, and that's why I couldn't hang on to that name. I had to get rid of that. I had to shed that guy.
Oh, well, that's instant.
Yeah,
that's instant people talking shit right away.
But then my wife goes, I would have still married you.
That's how you know you got a real one, bro.
That's a keeper.
That's how you know you got a real one.
She goes, I think it's cute, right? She goes, I think it's cute, right?
Yeah.
And so I, it was just from my perspective. I didn't look at other people's perspective, but they didn't have to live with that name. I did.
Right.
You did.
Yeah.
So so nobody knows that. So I just let it, a big thing out of the bag, man.
Make some fucking
That's
noise
a
right
huge
there, bro.
explosive, man.
You just made me think of too, because some people don't think about it, but it's interesting that you said that, because in high school, I had a teacher, and her last name was Cox, bro. My brother, you will never guess what her first name was. And this is real. This isn't at all fake story at all.
Yeah.
Sharon. Her name was Sharon Cox. So the first day of school, my stupid little ass, right? I asked her, how long you been Sharon Cox? And she tells me, all my life. Her parents, that's fucked up, dog. Like, come on, dude. Like, you gotta have a little more.
I don't think they thought that through.
No, dog. Absolutely not, bro.
Right.
My last name's my ancestor, so everybody's like, oh, your Uncle Phil. I told him, no, dog, my uncle's Pat, bitch. Pat him, dog. Get it.
That's right. Lick 'em,
Lick
sucker.
'em, bro. Yeah. That's dope, bro. I can't wait. I think it's going to be funny, dog. So when you're actually working material, bro, like, when do you know for sure something gets the chop? Like, how many times do you have to bomb the joke before you're like, yeah, that shit's a wrap?
Probably like 3 or 4 times. If it's not, if you've rewritten it 3 or 4 times and you just can't get the opening to get through the middle to make it connect to the next, because I'm just anal that way about my humor, then I'll drop it.
You'll chop it.
Then I'll chop it.
You ever find a way to, like, maybe reintroduce it later on?
Sometimes they come back, right? So I do this whole thing about my ugly feet, and that's going to make a comeback. Because that's going to make a comeback. But I figured out how to make it funny, and it was something that me and my bro Silver wrote back in the day. And Silver's gone, man. Silver was my feature act that toured with me for a long, long time, and he got really good. And I told him, "Go be a headliner, bro. Go be a star," because he should have been a star. And he dealt with behavioral health issues and some bipolar stuff, and unmedicated, and then went through a tragedy with his girlfriend and his kids, and ended up on the street here in Burque, back here on the street in Burque, and was murdered. I want him to be a part of this special, so I'm bringing back this thing that me and him had written. He probably did it funnier than I did, but I'm still gonna do it because I don't want to leave Silver out of this special, because it's, my wife's in it, my mom's in it, the people who are the most that deserve it the most, the ones who stood by me all this time with nothing. My wife, man, I had no money. I don't know how she stayed with me and carried us, and so I'm gonna make fun of her, make sure she's in my special. And my mom, who's the original OG of my career. Like I said, I'm just excited to do this special because it means so much to me.
I can tell. I think the material is gonna hit, because I can tell just by talking to you that it's coming from your heart.
It is. It's a real stuff, man.
Those are the ones that always hit. Like I think you're making me think of the first time. You remember John Leguizamo's first HBO stand-up?
Yeah.
When they all, don't forget the plátanos, the whole way that he did it, bro, that was like, you could tell that every single part of that stand-up was true and from his upbringing. For me, those ones always hit a little different. Like, I can enjoy a comic that's just up there like, 1 + 1 is 2, and they're just leading the joke down. I can still enjoy that. But the ones that really get to you, bro, the ones that are fucking legendary and funny, you can tell it's like, oh shit, this is real.
Yeah,
this is a real story.
I think good comics, it needs to be real, man. I've been doing this so long. I could tell when there's a comic up there doing someone else's material, even though I may never even heard it. It's just not ringing honest and true.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And you could just tell the difference. And so it was like I was worried about when I brought out Bobcat Goldthwait, right? I'm like, he's going to do that Police Academy, And not that I didn't like it, but I didn't love it, and and I didn't know if it was like comedy. He came out, dude. I'm a Bobcat Goldthwait fan, dude. A comedy fan. He came out, was honest, and talked about his life and his shit. He didn't do that voice at all, man. He just was fucking on point and funny, and I can't wait to bring him back. And I want to hear what happens this last year. I'm ready to hear what happened this last year or whatever. I've been fortunate, man, to work with really good comics. I toured with George for a little bit. I just had Brian Kellen, his feature. He was just headlining my club this weekend. Super fucking funny. I'm trying to get George, but I think he has a deal with Isleta, and I get it. We're old. He'd rather just roll in, do one big concert, and then go to bed. See, at my club, we're old, and we got to do 2 shows a night. We got to do two nights in a row, and we're getting old and lazy. But I still have high hopes that I can get him in to do something really cool and special, and because I know that he's reverting back to who he was. I think he's pissed now about what's going on in this country, but we got to remember that we can make our points and shoot a couple of zingers in, but let's just stay true to comedy right now, because the reason why I want to do that and I want to stay more true to comedy and try to keep the politics out of it is that we need the escape, man.
For sure.
And that's our job, man. We make people laugh, and we're the doctors of entertainment. That's what comics do.
And it's a way to lead them to the truth too.
You don't have to be overbearing in comedy. You just gotta shine a little light.
And that's me. I do a poke. I'll do a poke and move on. And people who take it offensive at the poke, they're just going to anyway,
no matter what.
So no matter what, right? So my old special, I talked about the wall, and people, they got all mad, and I go, this dude during my routine stood up and he goes, "Fuck you, Mexican, we're gonna make you build that wall." And I've been thinking about that, and he ain't wrong, man, because if we were building that wall, we'd have been done 6 fucking years ago, bro.
For sure would have done. And guess what? For cheaper.
Yeah, we'd be working on Canada right now.
For sure,
fuck,
It's true.
Because I say wall it up, just as wall the whole motherfucker up.
Why are you gonna half-ass it, brother?
So that was like the material that I was on tour doing, but people would get mad, right?
Yeah.
I never said anything about a president. I never said anybody's name.
Yeah.
I just talked about the wall. That was it.
Yeah.
They already were able to. But see,
because I should. I'm a Mexican. I should have a conversation about or a dig about the wall. That's it.
Yeah. And I honestly want to hear a white person's perspective on the wall too. Yeah. If it's done right from your perspective, brother, I want to hear it.
That's
and
right.
see, right around that time though, it was a world full of people that were just ready to complain about it. And everybody wanted to fucking cry about everything.
Yeah.
No one could take a joke.
Well, and what's funny is, where's the wall talk now?
Right. Yeah. You can make that joke now. Everybody's gonna laugh. But the same dude.
But I'm
laughs,
saying, now we have the same administration back, but nobody's talking about that wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Because it doesn't serve the purpose of what it needed to do.
No.
So it no longer serves that purpose.
Yeah, it doesn't get people riled up.
No.
Yeah. You gotta you gotta pick at what gets people riled up.
Yeah. You talk about a wall now, it's a Pink Floyd.
Yeah. It's a Pink
Floyd conversation.
I love the wall, man.
It's great, man.
Great album though, man. Yeah, that's a great
Matter of fact, I want to
album.
smoke some weed and listen to that shit right now. Yeah, it doesn't get people riled up, and that's why I don't really put too much stock in any of that shit outside of the stuff that affects us here, because I know I can make a difference here. Not saying that I can't make a difference outside. I also know I can, but here I know my difference. The difference I can make is needed, right? The people are gonna listen because, again, going back full circle to what we were talking about, they can see us and be like, oh yeah, they know what's popping, right? That's why still to this day, you have people talking about when they met Johnny Tapia for the first time, right? People have I seen Johnny Tapia at Albertsons, and he took a penny. He remembered my name.
From Albertsons.
You feel
10 years later.
Exactly.
He's like, bro, we met at Albertsons, man. And you're like, what the hell?
How the fuck did you?
Especially a guy who takes shots to the head for a living, dude.
For sure.
And he took a lot of shots to the head. He was a tough motherfucker.
And everybody remembers.
He remembered everybody.
Exactly, brother.
He never forgot a person.
And that shit is important, bro.
That's crazy.
That
too.
shit matters, dog.
Mind blowing.
Yeah.
But that was one of his superpowers, man. Is that he knew your name or maybe not your name, but he remembered you, and he could tell you where he met you.
For sure.
Yeah.
And everybody here in New Mexico has some sort of story like that, dog. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'll run into my brother. The reason because we were talking about it yesterday when we were out there. We were in Santa Fe and we were walking around and we started talking about it. And people were walking up for a picture and it's crazy. My brother was like, he's like, does that does it trip you out? Does it get annoying? I told him, fuck no, bro. It doesn't get annoying. It trips me out still, but it does not get annoying because look. Nobody has to give a flying fuck about what I gotta say or what I'm doing, bro.
No.
So the fact that they care, bro, I'll sit there, bro. We'll fucking talk about their fucking grandma's fucking whatever the fuck, bro. I will sit because for one, I am genuinely interested, right? I learn more. Like having a podcast, you're talking about we were on episode 112.
Yeah.
Brother, having this podcast has made me a better listener, right?
Yeah.
And it's made me better at having conversations because I'm not just trying to fill the air with words. Because me listening to you lets me learn something about myself and you at the same time if it's done right.
It's like your humor, man. I look at your humor online and I'm like, man, that's fucking on point. And I connect to it. And it makes me happy that there's someone out there that cares about me as a human being and the culture that we were raised to put it out there so we on a daily basis get to laugh at something, even if it's just for a second.
Yeah.
And it's important, dude.
It's important, bro.
And everyone thinks what you're doing, you just do it. Like you just grab a cell phone and do it. And I know it's a complete production. You have a great team behind you, and that's why it looks and feels good, and that you're putting the right effort in. It's not half-ass shit, right? It's great shit, and and you're growing. And I just came here to push you and to grow you in some of the social aspects as well, because humor's a part of who we are. But to be the complete people that we all should be, we need to address some of this other crazy shit.
We can't ignore it. If you ignore the shit,
because if you're complacent, then you're a part of it, right? And so we can't be complacent. It's hard, right? My wife won't allow me to put my political opinion out there, not because we're afraid of losing fans, but I have to think about my children and my mom and my wife. Because I'm an elected official, they put my home address out there. Even the media did it one time. Like the news on their news story, put my address.
Aren't they trying to change that? Isn't there a law trying
There was a law against it, but now what they say is, oh, well, you ran for office.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
It's a public eye anyway.
Yeah,
crazy.
so we're just going to put your home address, And
makes you want to say, why the fuck you even run for
because of
office?
that, because for me, I ain't afraid of shit. I grew up never being afraid. And sometimes that's a bad thing. But I have to think about other people, and my mom and my wife and my children are number one on my priority list. And so I don't do it. I can't. But in an atmosphere like this, I can. Because you're asking me questions, and
if we don't talk about these things, nothing changes. It just people just keep getting.
And you're right. And so I don't want to be complacent. I do want to have my opinion, but this gives me a format to do that because you asked me a question and I'm answering it. I'm not trying to go on social media and say, this is what I fucking think, and you need to think like me, and I'm not trying to do that, man. We're just talking, and I'm telling you organically, right? How I feel, what's going on, what's happening on the West Side, what's happening with elected officials, you know, who's running for office, be careful who's running for office, because all that matters to me because I spent 12 years, 4 years on the school board and 8 years as a county commissioner working and fighting for this community. And just because I'm not that anymore doesn't mean I stopped fighting.
Or paying attention.
Or paying attention or seeing and looking who's running for office, right? You know, and I know the people who are doing the good work. Right, and you just go to my social media and you'll see I will share just saying I support this person. I don't have to put down why. I'm not going to get in an argument with anybody. If you want to look at that person I'm supporting, then go look them up. You know, that's what the computer's for, right? And so you do that, and then you make a decision whether that person has actually done their job for the community or not. And that's your opinion to do that. I'm not trying to force you to have my opinion.
For sure.
I'm just telling you this is who I support and this is who I think did the stuff that was important to me and my family.
Right. And see, it should be okay to do that, and it should be the way that the media, and it's crazy, brother, because we just had this conversation with my oldest son, because his generation, they look at the media like it's fucking ridiculous because they've done that to themselves. Yeah. They've made themselves
They did it to themselves.
Ridiculous.
They did.
I remember hearing, and maybe this was all bullshit too. It might have been bullshit the whole time. But I remember a time when my dad used to tell me about certain media outlets held themselves to a standard, right? Yeah. There was, they vetted the people they were interviewing. They seen both sides of the stories. They had connecting dots. They had pictures. They had reasons. Instead of just picking a side and saying, well, it looks good enough, fuck it, let's let it fly. Back then, they held themselves to some sort of standard, dog. It seems like nowadays, it's almost like the fourth branch of the government, bro. That shit's bought and sold.
Yeah.
Whatever narrative they're trying to push, whoever they're trying to push down, either side, whatever it is, it's almost like you have to watch both together and then go, okay, this is my opinion. Now I see both sides of it, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it makes it harder for people to want to turn that shit on to get their information. Yeah. They'd rather get on their phone.
People are putting out half shit. Like the other day, this guy put out saying, a Latino guy, right? He said, oh, well, the United States paid $15 million for Texas, New Mexico, California, and this and that. We didn't steal that. And I go, obviously you never read the treaty of, you know,
that's crazy.
You didn't read because the treaty, that was part of the treaty because they were gonna wipe us off. They were gonna, they were gonna, you know, they were gonna kill us off the face of the earth, and they were gonna lose a lot more people continuing to fight us, and so we had to succumb, either that or be eradicated, right? Or actually be killed completely off because we were losing the numbers, right? They had already killed 90% of the indigenous people in the country at that point. And so we had to say, yeah, okay, we'll take the 50. So Spain or Mexico took the 15 million and you know, but it wasn't about they came and said, hey, we want to make you an offer, right?
Let us buy this beautiful land.
Because we're so nice and we're so kind that we're going to give you $15 million for fucking half a country, you know? But while he put out was, that's all he put out was, oh, by the way, we, you know,
15 million.
They gave us 15 million to buy this.
Well, finish reading that paragraph that you're talking about, and then finish your.
That's worse than Scottie Pippen's contract.
Yeah, Google it and at least read the whole Wikipedia. It'll at least lay it out saying we had no choice but to make a deal because we were all gonna die. You were gonna kill us all
because we didn't fundamentally believe that people can own the earth. And that was just a part of the culture to begin with on this side of the world, where we just didn't buy into that concept. So it was foreign to us to begin with. So someone says, well, we'll give you some money and then we'll stop killing you. It's like, okay, well, okay, I guess we'll take your coins.
Yeah, you still can't own the earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Our numbers were down, man. They were about to totally eradicate the Native Americans and all the Native people in this land. I'm from New Mexico. New Mexico actually is older than Mexico. It was called New Mexico first, Nuevo Mexico.
And it was fucking huge.
Yeah, and it was huge before it even was Mexico. So this is my people. So this guy tells me, go back to where you came from. Right? And so I told him, what I lay, then I'll just jump in my Jeep and drive in a circle.
For real, dog. For real.
Right? And I go,
right
but when
here.
I get out, you go back to where you fucking came from.
Yeah.
I'll drive you to the airport, bitch.
We fucking sprouted
And
from
then
out
he
here, brother.
goes, and then he looks at me and goes, well, we conquered you.
Oh my God.
And I go,
Fucking crazy.
do I look conquered, motherfucker? I go, really, you're looking at me and you're saying that I'm conquered somehow, bro.
fucking crazy.
Right? I go, you rent, I own.
Yeah, right? Huh.
I mean, who's struggling? Who the fuck is
Right.
who's conquered, bro? And it wasn't you that conquered me,
Yeah,
by
for
the way.
sure.
And it might have been your ancestors, but it wasn't you, bro. So I just want to let you know that I'm also not my ancestors.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're not your ancestors.
No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't threaten with us like you're going to fucking put us in chains and shackles and we're just going to go quietly into the night and serve your fucking food and do... I think you're delusional, homie.
Yeah, it's-
to think that you're using conquering us
Right.
as an arguing point in 2025 because there's a bullshit
don't work.
argument.
It don't work
You know,
now.
because you know what? We're not mad at you.
Yeah.
We don't care that you're here. We're good. We're all trying to coexist.
That's what pisses them off more than anything is that we're just like, oh, well, fuck you then.
Cool.
You know, like that's
I'm not blaming you for
Yeah.
what your ancestors did.
Yeah.
Don't blame me for
And
what
if
my
you want to be,
ancestors
and
did.
if y'all
Let's
want to
move
argue,
on.
y'all can argue, but
Yeah.
argue over there, argue with your mama. I got nothing to do
Because
with it.
that dude's
I'm good.
ancestors probably would have fucking shot him anyways, because he's probably a fucking tonto, bro. Get the fuck out.
I
You
know.
didn't conquer shit, my guy. Shut the fuck up.
I know, bro.
Yeah, how you gonna hold on to something you had no part of, bro?
Yeah.
That was hundreds of years
Oh,
ago,
and
my
you're
dude.
and you're renting.
Yeah, that's
you don't
crazy.
even own nothing, bro.
Yeah.
You're a renter.
That's
You know,
fucking
you haven't
nuts.
conquered shit, bro. You better conquer getting a house, homie.
Yeah, that shit's crazy, bro.
Conquer a job.
Yeah, conquer paying off that car that the bank owned. You know, who conquered the bank. Fucking conquered.
Talk about it.
Facts, bro.
That's who's conquering, man.
They're the ones that they own all the shit, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Everything.
So yeah, you've been done conquered, homie.
My brother, so before we get out of here,
Right.
bro, I gotta ask you one more motherfucking breaking.
All right, let's go.
One more.
right,
And this one,
This one I wanted to know.
this one important,
Okay.
and everybody's like, why didn't you ask him more Breaking Bad? Because I don't want to just ask him fucking Breaking Bad questions, dog. We're talking here. This isn't fucking an interview. I'm not Barbara Walters, bro. All right? But when we had Jeremiah on, right, I asked him about whenever he got killed, right, and how many times they had to do it. And he had an interesting take on it. And it was pretty dope to hear how he was talking about it. So the climax scene, brother, when you guys are out there in the desert and those rednecks pull up and start unloading, and you guys meet the maker,
Yeah.
final frontier out there in the fucking reservation.
Yeah.
How long did it take to shoot that scene, brother?
Well, I mean, it was a day's work, right? For sure, that was a day's work. Because there was just a lot of people in the scene. You know, I mean, you had Bryan Cranston, Aaron Paul, and you had all the white supremacists. You had Hank and Gomez, you know, and, you know, you got to get all that coverage. And you got to make it interesting and exciting. So, yeah, it was a rough day, man, because, you know, me and Dean Norris had spent 6 years becoming the best of fucking friends, like brothers. And we knew this was our day, that this was our last day.
That probably felt crazy.
After 6 years, I mean, we played a lot of golf. We had, you know, our kids were young. We were raising young kids. We had a lot in common. You know, we played partners on this television show. And, you know, what was cool, though, and this is what was cool about it, and I think Vince, the genius Vince Gilligan is that he allowed me to go out like a fucking guy who was born and raised in the Wild West. He let me go out that way. I didn't get no fucking throat slashed with a fucking box cutter. Right? I didn't
Nobody
get
got to
blown
drop
up in
on
a
you,
fucking wheelchair, bro.
Yeah.
We cocked it and fucking pointed it, and it was a showdown. And me and Hank did not run.
Nope.
We went at him.
Yeah.
Two guys with all those fuckers. We went straight at him.
Yep.
And that was fucking cool, man.
Yeah,
It was.
Because that is my heritage, and they stay true to who we are. You know, people always say, "Oh, New Mexico's a violent city." I go, "It was the Wild West."
What do you expect?
You know, we're the generations that we're trying. We're trying to get better.
Yeah.
But this is how you know we're the Wild West, right? We're probably the only fucking state in the fucking country that if you honk your horn at us, we take it as fuck you.
Oh yeah, dog. For real.
Right? And you're like, did that dude just say fuck you to me, man? Fuck you! No, fuck you! And then we're out of the car, we're throwing jorasas. And
First time I was in fucking Florida, bro, I almost hopped out the car, bro, out of the fucking airport.
But other states use the horn as, hey.
I know.
Be careful. You go to other countries
Lights
and
green.
you've been to other countries, right? And you're driving around, everybody's like,
Yeah, not us.
And as a New Mexican, I'm in the backseat going, who wants some shit? Look at you know?
My manager told me, he's all, sit down, what are you doing? I'm like, this motherfucker's honking at us.
I go, no, it's okay.
He's all, because he wants us to move. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
he's trying to move in
All
and
right,
shit. And I go, well, New Mexico will fucking kill you.
Right.
it's crazy.
But that gives you a sense of where we come from and the generations of the things that we had to fight and struggle for and why we're angry and why we're mad. And people don't know that. They don't understand that.
They don't.
And we have to do better, man. We cannot be complacent. We can't use that as an excuse to be bad people. We gotta be aware of it. We've got to digest it and we got to let it go because to be better should be our goal.
Yeah.
And to be mad at because somebody and shoot somebody because they honked at you, that's gacho, bro. Don't do that.
Yeah. Nah,
because you don't know what someone's day is like, man. You don't.
Sure. We've seen some crazy sad.
Yeah, man. Here we see them, man, and that's why we have a high fucking, violent crime rate, man. And it's because we're just a hair fucking trigger.
We are.
And we can't be that because we always end up doing stupid shit over stupid shit. And that's what's wrong, man. That's what's wrong. Now, a majority of our violent crime is gang related. But you got to understand, right, that, they're killing each other, man. I mean, not that that's a good thing, but it's rare, that a violent crime happens really outside. I mean, it happens, and I'm not going to say that it doesn't because I'd be lying. But what I'm saying is that majority of it is, I'll put it this way. This is what I tell people. They go, Albuquerque a dangerous city? And I go, yeah. It's dangerous when you hang out with dangerous people. Then you put yourself in a dangerous situation. And so, it's a dangerous city. So with that said, so is Chicago, so is Dallas,
no doubt.
so is Fort,
so is anywhere in the
Fort
world.
Worth,
Detroit.
so is St. Louis, so is LA, right? Because if you're hanging around those people, the odds of you getting your ass shot are way higher, man.
Yeah, for sure.
And so here's the message. Change your life, bro. If that's who you're hanging out with, I'm going to pray for you, man, that you change your life and that you find another way because it's out there. You just got to go hustle and you got to work for it, but it's there and you can do it. And family, if somebody is advocating for you to do fucked up shit, that's not your family.
No.
And because they're benefiting from it somehow, some way from you. And that's why they say that they got your back and that they're your family, but they're not. Make your own family.
Yeah.
Create your own family, dude.
Yeah.
Just, I'm asking you, man, we got to change that. For the size of this city, the country's right. We shouldn't have this much violent crime. But you blame the police, but, you act like they have a minority report machine. Like a ball's going to come out and that they're going to know that somebody's going to get shot up here on Central and whatever, right? They don't have that superpower. It would be nice if that existed, but they don't. And so police in cities like this are reactive, right? So they only react to when something happens. There's not a lot of preventative stuff that needs to be taking place, which is community policing, connecting to the community, knowing, letting the police officers know the communities that they're policing and know the kids and know the people. And even if it's the little troublemakers, right?
They still should know.
Yeah, you should know them and connect with them. And that's how we fight crime. It's not about punishment, but they're right? We also have to know that if you're a violent criminal, and we catch you and we take you downtown and we slap you on the wrist and we let you go, I understand why our police officers are frustrated and pissed off about that. Because a violent criminal is different than somebody who stole something for survival.
For sure.
Yeah. You know, and if you take away government assistance, if you take away, and look, we know 10% of the people, could be higher, are taking advantage of that. Mm-hmm. But I'm just going to say this: if you take away that, right? You take away food that we're helping people, housing assistance. If you take away that because you feel they don't deserve it, I'm just going to say this, man. You haven't fucking seen crime.
Yeah.
Because you think somehow that they're going to crawl up in a hole and just die because they're no longer getting rental assistance or food or WIC or unemployment, whatever, right? Whatever you decide you're going to take away. That's not human nature. People will figure out a way to survive. And what's going to happen is these people are going to survive on our most vulnerable, which is like my 92-year-old mother, right?
Yep.
That, you know, because, you know, she was tough from Martinez Town in the 40s and the 50s. She ain't that tough lady no more, man. She's a target. And our most vulnerable will be targets because people will find a way to survive, and we know that.
No matter
from
what.
Being from New Mexico, we know that.
Regardless.
So be careful what you ask for, because the cause and the effect is going to be not what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Very true.
Well, I think that's one of those lessons that we don't need to walk
I know.
the whole path to learn it. Like,
I know.
common sense says it right now.
I
So
know.
just make up your minds now that we're not going that route.
Yeah,
Here.
and that happens in a voting booth, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's where it happens, man, because
Yeah.
that is the only little voice that we have.
Yeah.
So please think about what you do. That's all. That's all I'm asking.
I can't think of.
I
a
ain't
better
perfect.
place.
I ain't perfect.
None of us
I make
are.
tons of mistakes, people. I'm not preaching from a higher pulpit, bro. I'm just telling you. I've made those mistakes. Learn from me.
Experience, bro. I could have saved myself 10 years if I'd have listened to my dad telling me not to do this and not to do that.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
be 10 years ahead, bro.
For sure.
It's just sometimes.
But we have to learn lessons, you know.
Yeah.
That's it. But learn them.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not learning them, that's where we're getting caught up.
But some lessons that were learned, like if your dad was Tiger Woods, now you know, hey, maybe I should probably go left instead of going right over here. I'm gonna save myself some heartache, dog.
Yeah,
Let's go.
just
or
order
know that
takeout.
I'm human and I'm going to do the best that I
I'm
can, and
gonna
I
do
can't
the-
expect, I can't expect to be the best always.
No,
on every aspect of my life, you can't do it.
We're called to be Christ-like, not Christ.
100%.
We do our best.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, there's one judge, and he ain't here yet.
Yeah.
No.
He ain't here yet. Despite what people think, he ain't here yet.
I can't think of a better place to drop the mic, fellas.
Let's do it.
That was perfect.
Thank you, guys.
Steven, my brother.
Yeah, bro.
Thank you for pulling up. I look
Appreciate
forward to the. Hey, I will be there, brother, in attendance.
Yes.
I can't wait, my dog.
Comedy is relative, so.
Until next
My
time,
new relatives, right on.
respect the connect. Peace. Fucking bang.
It's kicker than that.